Sometimes, letting go doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like grief. This is a story of one woman's silent battle to choose herself. There was a woman named Meera. She wasn't famous. She didn't have followers or a brand, but her soul was exhausted. From the outside, she had a good life, a stable job, a clean apartment, a phone filled with people she constantly helped. But inside, she hadn't heard her own voice in years. Every morning, Meera woke up feeling like her chest carried bricks. Not pain, not quite, just weight. She smiled at her coworkers, replied to family messages with emojis, agreed to things she didn't want to do, again and again and again, until one afternoon, she walked into her apartment, put her bag down on the floor, sat on the edge of her bed, and whispered, "I don't even know who I am anymore." She remembered being 12, writing poems about the stars. She remembered wanting to be a painter, a traveler, a lover of silence. She remembered believing she could do anything. But somewhere along the way, she had become everything. Everyone else needed her to be a helper, a fixer, a yes machine. And the worst part, they still left, or took her for granted. And she had no one to blame but herself. She wasn't angry, just empty. Burnout isn't always fire. Sometimes it's fog, the slow erasure of who you are, in service of everyone else. She was a ghost walking in daylight, smiling with lips that forgot how to mean it. So that night, Meera did something wild, something sacred. She turned off her phone, lit a candle, and sat in silence. The silence was terrifying at first. Without the noise, she had to feel. And feeling meant facing things she had buried under productivity. Grief, loneliness, anger, and a deep ache for something more honest, more real, more hers. She cried, not loudly, just enough for the body to say, "I'm still here." Letting go felt like dying, because parts of her were the people pleaser, the perfectionist, the over-explainer, the one who said yes when she meant no. They were being buried in the quiet, and in their place, something soft began to bloom. Not confidence, not yet, but space. And space is sacred. Space is where rebirth begins. Days turned into weeks. She stopped explaining herself. She said no and didn't feel guilty. She sat by the window and sipped tea without checking messages. She began journaling again, writing without a filter. She didn't try to be interesting. She tried to be true. And something magical happened. The world didn't fall apart. It actually got quieter, kinder, wider. Meera realized something nobody ever taught her. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to be useful to be worthy. You don't have to break to prove your love. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is leave the room, close the door, and come home to yourself. She never became famous. She never went viral. But Meera became something rarer, at peace. And for the first time in years, she looked in the mirror and didn't flinch. She saw a woman rebuilding. Not perfectly, not quickly, but honestly. So if letting go feels like dying to you, maybe that's because it is. The death of what no longer fits. The funeral of old selves. And the quiet birth of someone finally free. You're not falling apart. You're falling into yourself. Don't run from that silence. That's where your soul speaks. If the story touched you, if you're tired of being everything for everyone, just know there's no shame in pausing. There's power in boundaries. And you, too, can begin again, one breath at a time. If you felt seen today, please like, share, and subscribe. Not for numbers, but so more hearts can rest too. See you in the next story. Stay soft. Stay strong.